We're so glad that you're here and part of our presentation tonight on our new program, ICARE. And of course, we're the Interfaith Council of Contra Costa County, 108 congregations all over East, West, Central, North, and South County. And we're so grateful that you're here to hear more about this new program, ICARE Interfaith Community Action Revitalization. And let's hear a welcome from Carolyn McKenzie, our board chair.
Yeah, welcome. So glad to have you all here to kick off this new program. It's exciting. When we start our Interfaith Council meetings or board meetings, we always start by saying this covenant. So I'm going to read it for you all because it reminds us all what we're thinking what we want to be centered on when we have interfaith discussions. Our dialogue is an interfaith dialogue. We all have different communication styles and varying views. We commit to be in dialogue with respect for all, expanding listening to hear multiple points of view. We realize that we are responsible for the growth of the Interfaith Council, and each of us shares a duty to interfaith growth. The governing board provides leadership, and the elected council works towards progress for the fulfillment of our interfaith goals as we grow. We recognize that we are with interfaith responsibility. As such, we commit to hold ourselves and each other accountable to merit this trust, respect for the diverse traditions, beliefs, and spiritual paths of all those that we encounter. Hold ourselves to the highest ethical standards and accountability for our communities and to the Interfaith Council. Our shared time together is interfaith time, and we commit to honoring the start and end times of all the time that we meet. So with that, I'm going to pass it on, but I wanted to set that tone for when we work together. That's our goal, is to listen to each other and to recognize and honor each other's faiths. So thank you.
Thank you, Carolyn, and thank you, Will, and welcome everybody. We are thrilled that you're here. This is a new program that's being sponsored by the Interfaith Council, and as Will said, it's called ICARE, and it's essentially a matchmaking opportunity between nonprofit organizations that are doing all kinds of good things to help and improve the lives of those in our community who need them. And we're matching those needs with volunteers just like you in our interfaith community who understand that even though we may have different faith traditions, there are a lot of things that we have in common. And one of those things is helping improve the lives of others. So with this program, what we're doing is we've selected nonprofit partners, and you should have a list of those, or you can go to our website to look at that list. And each of these nonprofit partners have proven records of helping their constituents, the people in need. And what we will be doing is using Sign Up Genius to populate these nonprofit partner projects throughout the year. And we will be asking congregations throughout the county to sponsor them. And then we'll be asking them to let everyone know what is happening and when, and inviting all of you volunteers to help make that happen. We can't do it without you. We so deeply appreciate the time that you're taking to learn about ICARE and to learn how you can help those in our community. And one of the things that's really also unique about this is that it creates an opportunity to work with people that you may not have otherwise met, and to learn perhaps about their faith tradition and to share some about yours. And that's why we ask everybody to take this workshop to get a brief reminder. Many of you work in interfaith settings already, but we all need reminders of why we do, and also make new friends and feel good about the work that we're doing. So thank you again for your precious time that you are taking to do this workshop, and for all of the volunteer energy and effort that you're going to be putting into these programs. It's my deep appreciation and gratitude to all of you. So Will, are you going to be talking about this now?
I was hoping that you would and
Oh.
talk about our pilot project and the 4 projects.
Got it. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. So we are starting with a pilot project that many of you are going to be participating in, and that's working with the Health and Human Services of Contra Costa County to create hygiene kits that will be distributed throughout the county. And there are specific items that are going to be going into these kits. We have a deep debt of gratitude for Lafayette Orinda Presbyterian Church and Sufism Reoriented for putting so much thought and effort and energy and resources into purchasing all of the items that will be going into these kits that will be labeled for men and for women and then distributed. It's particularly tricky right now, of course, with COVID-19 and trying to find ways to do this in a safe and responsible manner. And they have figured out a way to do that. And we're deeply grateful. So some of our nonprofit partners, I'll just go through that quickly. One of them is called iChange, and it's the Interfaith Chaplaincy Affirming a New Generation of Excellence with Reverend Julius Hook. And he works at Juvenile Hall, and he provides mentorship and ongoing service opportunities for young people. And one of the projects that we will be looking at possibly providing iPads for the people that he works with, for the young people that he works with. And so that's one of the nonprofit partners that we will be working with to support. Another is Mountain View Shelter in Martinez, run by Shelter Inc. And at this time, we're not sure exactly what their level of service is going to be. But once we know and once they're able to do it in a safe way, we will be adding them to Sign Up Genius.
In the past, we've helped congregations sign up to take different days of providing food for the Mountain View Shelter, which is one of the other shelters besides Winter Nights that does shelters for families. Because of COVID, they have the same clients in their shelter that they've had since March. And they're not allowing volunteers yet, but we're hoping in the future that they will be able to return to encouraging interfaith teams rather than just teams from single congregations to go into their commercial kitchen and provide food for the 40 or so folks that live there.
Another one of our nonprofit partners is Trinity Center. They're a well-established partnership or nonprofit organization. They provide day shelters and advocacy for the homeless and provide all kinds of support for this community. Then there's the Monument Crisis Center, which also provides food, education, and help to families and seniors and individuals who are in crisis, and also promotes the awareness of their needs. And they have a large variety of projects from sometimes it's meal preparation or it's donations of various kinds. And so those projects will vary depending on what their needs are.
So we're hoping to create interfaith teams in the future to be able to serve in those places and perhaps some others once we have established this program well. And we want to thank Anita Wheel for all of her work with the Sign Up Genius. You want to say anything about that, Terry?
Oh, well, Yeah, Anita, did you want to talk? You're muted.
I just realized that. Anyway, they're saying just working out some of the kinks. The biggest problem is the quantity, but we're still working on it, but it's so far so good.
Okay. So the idea behind Sign Up Genius is that after this pilot project, give us a few months because projects require time for planning. We will be populating Sign Up Genius with these nonprofit organizations that will rotate 1 month at a time. We will assign a date and a nonprofit, and then we will be asking congregations in different parts of the county from different faith traditions to co-sponsor an event, just like LOPC and Sufism Reoriented is doing. And the idea behind that is that the members of those congregations will learn to work together to specifically provide for, to run that project. And there may be some on-site activities in one of those congregations, and then they will also be recruiting and educating and communicating to their members to get them to sign up, and we will also be promoting it throughout the Interfaith Council. Everybody can sign up for whatever project that you want, depending on what your schedule and your interests are.
Is there anything else that we need to know about the August 16th event?
I would defer to either Terry Clark or Sharon Campton or Lowell. I can't see everybody on the screen. So anyone from Sufism Reoriented or Terry or LOPC or Sharon who might want to say something about that.
I think so far the Sign Up Genius is working very well. The question is, just working through the COVID issues, but thanks to all the good work and the many Zoom meetings that we put in between and among Kate and Lowell and Susie and Sharon and I think that everything is working out very well, and so we're on stream to have the items that have been bulk purchased, assembled by small groups, and from LOPC standpoint, Sharon and I will be getting together again tomorrow and setting up the small groups so that we get our assemblies going, and I think it's going to work out fine.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Follow up that the 16th itself at LOPC is, unfortunately, because we're limited to only 25 people because of what's going on with COVID restrictions. Unfortunately, we can't make that open to people just to come and be part of that. So that's one of the downsides of the circumstances right now with that. But we sure appreciate the people who signed up to help with the assembly of the kits in a separate situation, and note writing and financial donations. So thank you to all of you for helping with that.
Great. I'm going to share just a few minutes of slides, a little bit about our interfaith work for those of you who may not be fully aware of all that we do. We've been around since 1960. We began as the Council of Churches and became Interfaith in 1998. We do have monthly meetings. Our elected council meetings are open to the public. Normally we meet in a big circle like this at Hillcrest UCC in Pleasant Hill, where we office, and we use the fellowship hall for that meeting, but we've been meeting on Zoom. Anyone and everyone is invited to be a part of our conversations, and we usually have an interfaith dialogue as a part of that. And sometimes we have speakers come in from regional organizations to help us understand what the needs in the community are. We're also doing a lot of other projects. We have a disaster preparedness network that is doing some preparation and getting ready for fire season right now. If you want to be a part of that, you can talk to me. We have an Interfaith Youth Circle that hasn't been active for a little while, but mostly because of COVID. And we tried to pull off a retreat last November, and it didn't work with school schedules. But if you're interested in that, again, talk to me. We try to put on 1 or 2 interfaith concerts a year, and these are always fabulous opportunities to hear about the gifts and spiritual music and other sharings from our faith traditions. Of course, we also have done some Rings of Solidarity, and we've done some with the Islamic Center of Walnut Creek and others to be able to be in solidarity with folks. And sometimes we get together for interfaith spirituality programs like the chants to dance, where we went from kind of silent kind of chants and meditation into universal dances of peace. Very fun. We do have some regional groups that do some programming on their own, as well as with us. The Interfaith San Ramon Valley, also called iServe, meets on a regular basis, and they do a lot of programming around storytelling lately. There is an East County United, and of course Neighbor to Neighbor. And of course we've done the Diffusing Hatred program. That's still available. We have an everyday peacemaking program that we can do even online if you and your congregation want to have that. And we've done some stuff on and some work on compassionate listening with courageous conversations. So a lot of the work that we do is around creating a more kind, caring, and compassionate Contra Costa. And you may have seen some of these stickers around. But when we come together for our iCare, we really do bring all of who we are to this moment. And so some of the things that I'd like to just share as reminders, especially as we come together on August 16th or in the future, is that when we come together, it's okay to have an opening prayer as a group, but we want to ensure that every tradition has a chance to share, or someone to share a prayer within the group. So you may social distance and make sure you're 6 feet away from each other and have some folks sharing some brief sensitive prayers with each other. Of course, all of our service together is a symbol of the peace between our traditions, and we really encourage you to exemplify that peace as you're together working on these projects, and to be as present as you can in the moment, and keeping your attention with the program and the things that you're working on. Of course, we also want to encourage you to get to know the people that you're serving with, and to have an open inquisitiveness about them and their faith. And that's one of the best ways to get to know folks. The picture on the left that you see is from the West County Food for Thought group that had been providing food for folks in the Richmond Unified School District from about 6 or 7 different faith traditions, and they've done a good job of that. Of course, each of us are individuals, and we have our own relationship with our own tradition, so recognizing that is an important piece as we get to know folks. And one of the cardinal interfaith rules, if there is one, is not assuming what you know about another person, believing based on their faith tradition, that we really are diverse within our faith traditions as well as we are between our faith traditions. So get to know those that you're serving as individuals, and you might even make some good friendships. We're hoping that you do. We hope that this program helps us get to know folks in other congregations, and we may even choose to work on other projects or do things socially together. And this is one of my favorite. Remember that our service itself is a form of prayer, and that each of our prayers can take on different forms. So allowing that to be a point of inquisitiveness and inquiry with each other is an important part of honoring our interfaith relationships. And you don't have to be an expert to participate. You don't have to know much about other people's faith traditions to serve well. But listening is key. Listening to others affirms their full humanity, and that's what we're about, in building these greater and better relationships as well. So remember to speak for yourself, and if these are some of the kind of the group dynamic agreements that often each group may choose to put together for themselves, but none of us speaks for whole faith traditions. But as we're together, we can remember to speak for ourselves. If you feel like you're stepping up too much, you can take a time to step back and let others speak up. And it's okay to say oops if you've inadvertently stepped on someone's toes, and we ask you to forgive each other quickly. And of course, look for common ground. Ask questions for clarification, and make sure that everyone is included, because we want this to be a good experience for everyone. And of course, when in doubt, ask your team leader. We're all in this together, and we really hope to be able to make these experiences meaningful as we do the service that each of our faith traditions calls us to do, to be able to live out what it means to be interfaith people and to share that vision with the rest of the world as well. This is the work of what it means to be interfaith, and we're grateful for your presence tonight and your desire to join us in this service in this new way.